Hello, welcome to paging. So it's the second method of non-contiguous allocation. So in the last session we have seen what is segmentation, right? That was another technique for non-contiguous allocation. And of course the segmentation avoids the need for compaction. But what about external fragmentation? As you know, the segments are of variable sizes, right? So the deallocation and allocation of processes will eventually create a set of holes in the main memory scattered around the memory. So definitely that will lead to external fragmentation. And also there can be some swapped in and swap out of processes between the main memory and backing store, and which will lead to the same problem, that is external fragmentation within the backing store also. And there, in the case of backing store, the compact is not at all possible. So definitely we have to go for some other method which eliminates the requirement of compaction, at the same time free from external fragmentation, and that is paging. So paging also allows the physical address space of a process to be non-contiguous, as it is a non-contiguous allocation method. It avoids external fragmentation, and it also avoids all the problems related to varying sized memory chunks. Now we can see how it is actually implemented. As a first step, it divides the physical memory, that is the main memory, into fixed size blocks called frames. Typically, the size of a frame should be a power of 2 to make the address translation easier. And the typical size of a frame will be in between 512 bytes and 16 megabytes. And also it will divide the logical memory, that is our processors, into blocks of the same size as that of frames. And these blocks inside a program or the logical memory is called pages. So pages and frames will be of same sizes. And the OS will keep track of all the frames which are free now. So whenever a new request arrives for a process of n pages, the OS should find out n free frames from the list of free frames and then load the program. For this, it will keep a page table to translate the logical to physical addresses. We can see how this translation is actually happening and how the page table structure is. Okay, and definitely we are storing the programs initially at the backing store. So this backing store also will be divided into pages. So it avoids the external fragmentation. Still, a little bit of internal fragmentation will be there. You know why? Because it is not necessary that the size of a process will be a multiple of size of a page, right? So definitely for the last frame there can be some space is wasted. That is called internal fragmentation. So in case of paging, a little bit of internal fragmentation will be there, but it completely eliminates this external fragmentation and requirement of compaction. So a program got divided into pages and our physical memory is divided into frames, and we will map each page into some frames, some free frames wherever available. And this information, that is which page is loaded into which frame, that information will be stored into a page table. So corresponding to each process there will be a separate page table. Whenever that process is in execution, its page table will be loaded into main memory. Okay, and based on the information in this page table, we can take the corresponding frames and the required locations. Now we can see how this logical addresses, that is the address generated by the CPU or address referred by the process, is actually get mapped into its physical address. So we can see the paging model for a logical memory and its physical memory. Suppose we have a program of 4 pages. So we divide an entire program or logical memory into 4 different pages, page 0 to page 3. And this is the physical memory currently we have. We are divided the entire memory into 8 different frames. And we are mapping some of the pages, all the pages, into the free frames available. So we got mapped the page 0 into frame 1, page 1 into frame 4, like that. All the pages are mapped into the free frames in the physical memory. And this information is kept in the page table. This is the page table. We have 4 pages. So we need 4 different entries in the page table. and the page number can be treated as an index into this page table. So 0 index means the page 0, which is mapped into frame 1. Page 1 is mapped into frame 4, like that. All this information is kept. Now we can see how the logical address generated by a process can be mapped into actual physical location. Let us take a simple example. Suppose the process size or logical memory size is 1 kilobytes, 2 raised to 10 bytes. So we are using a byte addressable memory, so we require 10 bits to represent the address space, right? And suppose we are selecting the page size and frame size are 64 bytes, that is 2 raised to 6 bytes. So we have 2 raised to 6 addressable location within a page, or 2 raised to 6 different locations within a page. So we require 6 bits to represent offset within a page, right? Different locations within a page. Okay, and the number of pages will be definitely equal to the size of the memory or size of the address space divided by size of a page. That much pages will be there. In this case, 2 raised to 10 by 2 raised to 6, that is 2 raised to 4 pages, that is 16 pages will be there in our process. Okay, so we can number these pages as pages 0 to page 15. Okay, and this is how our process look like, or logical address space look like. Okay, so we divide our process into 15 pages, and for each page we have the address like this. Page 0 start with address 0 to last address in the page 0 will be 63, and first address of page 1 will be 64 to 127, like that. The offset value within page 15 will be 0 to 63 itself, and the last address of page 15 will be 1023, right? That's the final address of 1 KB memory. Okay. Now, how we can get the page number from this address? So this is the logical address, right? 00 to 1023 is the logical address. From this address, how can we get the page number? If we analyze these addresses, we can easily get the answer. See the first page, page 0. We have 6 different bits to represent offset, right? That will be 0 for the first location and all 1 for the last location within a page. The same will be true for all the pages, right? First 6 bits indicates the offset value. That will be 0 here and all 1 here. Okay, so this part will be indicate the offset within a page. And what about the remaining bits, remaining 4 bits here? That will be 0 for all the page, all the locations in page 0, right? And that will be 1 for all the pages in page 1, all the locations in page 1, right? And that will be 2 for all the locations in page 2. Now the task is very simple, right? We can take a logical address, cut into 2 different pieces. First piece represent the offset within a page, and the second piece represent the page number, right? This is how we can easily get the page number. Once we get the page number, we can easily find out the frame number. How? Using the page table. We can take this page number as index into the page table, so we can get the frame number. Then we combine the frame number with our offset. We can get the actual physical address. Okay, so that is the address translation done here. The address generated by the CPU can be divided into 2 parts, the page number P and the page offset T. Okay, the first or least significant n bits, where 2 raised to n is the page size, will get the page offset, and the last m minus n bits, where m is the size of the process. 2 raised to m is the size of the process. Okay, and we can get the page number and page offset. The page number used as an index into the page table, which contains the base address of each page in physical memory, and the page offset when combined with the base address of frame, we will get the physical memory address. So this is the paging hardware. Okay, the address generated by the CPU or address generated by the process can be treated as a combination of two parts, an offset part and page number. The page number we will take as an index into this page table, and the corresponding entry will give the frame number, and that frame number, when combined with the offset from the logical address, we will get the actual physical address. Okay, so F is the frame number here to which page P is actually mapped, that when combined with the D we will get the exact location. So this is the frame we are actually referring within that. This is the location we are referring. This is how the paging hardware supports the address translation. Is very straightforward. Now you can see an example for this paging. We have a logical memory of 4 different pages here and a physical memory of 8 different frames. And page 0 is copied into frame 5. So that information is updated in the page table. And page 1 is copied into frame 6. Like that, every pages are mapped into free frames available, and that information is kept in the page table. Now suppose we want to refer the word which contains the letter G. Okay, we are referring this memory location. So our logical address contains page 1 in which offset 6. Okay, using this, how to get the actual physical content. So we are using page 1, right? We are indexing in that page number, and we will get frame number 6. So we got the starting address of this frame, right? This is the starting address of the frame, into which we can use the offset. Our offset was 3 there, right? Because we are referring what? The third location in the page 1. So 3 will be the offset, right? And that will be added up with the starting address or frame number. We will get the actual physical address. This is the data we want to refer. Okay, so this is how a paging works. In the next session, we can see how the paging table is actually implemented, different possible method of improving the page table implementation. So thank you.